Well, good morning everyone and welcome back to the channel. We're back in Disneyland Paris again for our final day, although we are travelling home later so it's not a full day. The castle is behind us, we're already in. We're in nice and early to try and get some rides done before the crowds pick up. So first things first, are we going to head to Big Thunder, I think?
0 minute wait.
0 minute wait, so let's go. Walking straight on it.
Mad, isn't it? Not me. A Jagan.
A lovely piece of Disney theme in there. This is what I mean that I talked about in either yesterday's vlog or the day before, is that this area is themed like the town Thunder Mesa. And this is meant to be the barber shop and it's meant to be a haunted town, so you look alive. Well, we did end up having a couple of goes on Thunder Mountain whilst the queue was small. I kind of filmed one of them, and then for the second one I just put the camera away and enjoyed being in the moment. I think that's probably going to be our last go because it is going to get busy, that ride. So yes, good fun. Did you enjoy?
Yeah. Like,
it's Dean's favourite ride, I think, here.
I've established it as my number one. So.
Over Tower of Terror?
Yeah. Just
in Paris or in Florida?
I think Big Thunder Mountain in general and all the parks is my favourite.
Over Tower of Terror, that is a bold claim.
Just.
No, for me it's still Tower of Terror, but it is a favourite, a firm favourite. I wish I could stay this level of crowds all day. If you want the best view of the fireworks, I think, in my opinion, in the park, without risk of people moving and getting in your way, is to wait against this fence, and then you stand up. No one can be in front of you. Obviously there'll be people down here, but they're not in the way. That's just my opinion, my advice. But you will need to stake it out at least 2 hours before, because I think other people have the same idea. To be fair, this one over here as well is also, in fact, I mean, this one could be even better because there's no lampposts in the way. This could be a really good spot as well. So in this area of the park is somewhere we've not spent too much time really. In the American parks it's known as Tomorrowland. Over here it's Discoveryland. The only reason we haven't spent too much time over here, Dean actually said yesterday whilst we were waiting for the fireworks, it looks really cool at night and we should have come over whilst it was lit up. And he's right, but we haven't spent too much time here because we did Hyperspace Mountain on the first day and it knocked us both sick. And other than that, there's not, I mean, there's the Buzz Lightyear spin, which is what we're coming over to do now. And there's Autopia and Orbitron, but there's not too much for us over here really. So that's why. I do like the area as a whole though. So we're in the queue for Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin. Place your bets in the comments below. No, it's not the decider because I won on Web Slingers. So this is just for you to be able to pull it back to a draw, mate. Save some space. Save some face, not space. So comment down below who's going to win. Dean, there's you. Oh no, there's you.
Retrouver ses robots et son arme secrète et de les pulvériser. Le dragon vert se chargera de récupérer le générateur. Mission accomplie, grandeur de l'espace.
Good job, Space Rangers.
I saw someone with this bag the other day, didn't we? And it's complimented on how nice it was. It's obviously a lounge fly. All the nice ones are lounge flies. But look at that! Looks like a little picnic hamper with Chez Remy. So Dean and I were up too late to get here early and have breakfast at the hotel. So little snack stop. Got myself a Nutella crepe, a Tropico and a hot chocolate, and then I also got a little Wookie cookie. I hope that's nice. So this is the Wookie cookie. I've eaten this leg already. It's kind of like a giant golden cream. It's okay. It's nothing to write home about. Fills a hole this morning though. So we were gonna go on Hyperspace Mountain. I know we said we didn't enjoy it, but just for the sake of it, we were gonna do it. But how long was the wait?
I think it's 50 minutes.
Oh, somebody just dripped on me. It's a 50-minute wait, and I'm not waiting that to get given a headache and be made to feel sick. And I'm definitely not paying money to be given a headache and made to feel sick. So Hyperspace Mountain was a one-hit wonder for us. Did it once. It's weird because when I was here last with my friends, I did it at least 3 times and felt fat. Maybe it's my age.
We're just trying to show off.
No,
I'm going
I
out
would.
3 times.
No, we all like throughout the course of the 2 days. I went on it multiple times, but I don't know. Maybe it's the age of the roller coaster, or maybe it's my age, or maybe it was just, or maybe it was just the day. I don't know. It was a bad ride, so I'm not desperate to wait to do it again. So you can't really hear what I'm saying in this clip because of all the background music, but I'm basically explaining that the EDRR signs that are on all the railings on the railway station stand for Euro Disneyland Rail Road. So it's a little piece of history from when Disneyland Paris was called Euro Disney. They've kept those signs there. They haven't changed them to the Disneyland Paris Railroad. And I think it's a lovely little piece of history that they kept in the parks.
Mesdames et messieurs, bonjour, le prochain train continue. Ladies and gentlemen, the next train in 10 minutes. Thank you.
I would love that poster in my house. The wildest ride in the wilderness. Well, that says in the west. So we enjoyed our ride on the Disneyland Railroad, didn't we?
Yeah, it's a bit chill, isn't it?
It's a proper steam train. You get nice views of the park. And now we're heading over to Walt Disney Studios, which is, by all accounts, extremely busy. It's a 2-hour, 20-minute wait for Tower of Terror. So in light of that, we've paid for Premier Access because your girl wants one more ride on it, but it's not waiting 2 hours, 20 minutes.
Thank you.
Dean, there's your magic man.
No, so no he is.
There's a statue of your magic man. You can't wear a plush teddy though. For those who've not watched the previous vlogs, Dean forgot Sorcerer Mickey's name and referred to him as Magic Man.
Magic man ears.
He wanted the Magic Man Mickey ears, aka the ears with the sorcerer's hat in the middle of them. We've seen a couple of guys wearing them, but we can't find them. That's done like the Crossroads of the World thing, isn't it, that we saw in Hollywood and that they have in Hollywood Studios. What time can we check in at the Hollywood Tower Hotel? Now?
From 12:30.
Oh, we better go and check in. Our room might be ready. Hope they've got that lift fixed this time.
I hope so. Pushes back on.
So as you can see, it has come down a little bit. It was a 140 minutes before.
You're fed from the lifts.
Oh yeah. Well, we had a fabulous ride on Tower of Terror once again, didn't we? And we got to the bottom of the long wait time. Even with Premier Access, we still waited half an hour, roundabout, maybe 40 minutes. They were down to one lift, or maybe a couple of lifts, but only one shaft. So making operations much slower over there, unfortunately. If they're having technical issues, there's not much they can do about that. So yes, not sure what the plan is now, really. Might be saying goodbye to studios. Talent agency team. I need to get myself in there, display my many talents. Yep, we've made the decision to say farewell to studios and the Magic Man hat. We only called in really to do our favourite ride. We would do Web Slingers again if it wasn't a 85 minute, is it 100 minutes now? Wait, Crush's Coasters, too long a wait. So this park will always be busy though, I think, because there's just not enough options for people. Once Frozen and Star Wars opens, I think people will spread out more. That's a wrap. It sure is studios for us this trip. So we've come out to Disney Village because you just want to pop into Starbucks. One, to maybe get a drink, and two, to check if they have the Bean There morgue that they didn't have the other day. I'm not holding out much hope, but we'll see. But all these little Christmassy, like Christmas German market huts. Oh, really lovely. One's doing chocolate covered fresh strawberries, so I'm going to get some of them on the way. Way out, I think. So the other day they had Walt Disney Studios and this Avengers Campus mug. Today they've only got the Avengers Campus one, which is not my fave, I'll be honest. I just wanted the one that says Disneyland Paris 30th on it. We'll have to have a look on eBay. Someone will be flogging that like a massive profit. Such a shame. Oh, they've also got the Paris and France ones, but not particularly chasing those. I just wanted the 30th one. So this was the one I was after with the 30 on it. This one's also lovely. They had this one the other day, but Studios is not my favourite park, so this one or this one would have been lovely, but this one, you know, because it came for the 30th. But maybe that's a sign that I should not start collecting these Starbucks being there mugs. Just because I got one in Canada doesn't mean...
You'll need a big dishwash.
Supposed to be your all-time favorite Disney ride. I love this book. This is what Incredicoaster used to be on Paradise Pier. And we went on these and this. We went on all of them. That was Dean's favourite. Saw it over California. Oh. All the different posters for Space Mountain. People mover. Do you know who'd love this book?
Andrew.
Yeah. Andrew would love this book. He'd be cutting them out. Comfort and mooch in Disney fashion. What are these? Oh, interchangeable pom-poms that go on what? There's just one thing I need. First time hearing Mariah Carey this year. I'm trying to persuade Dean to get this for our next trip to Hollywood Studios in Walt Disney World, whenever that might be. I think that's lovely. And that's Dean's colour at the top, but he's saying he'll think about it.
€30.
Dean is after the black Disneyland Paris spirit jersey that we've seen in window displays but not in any shops. But this is quite nice. There might be a nice substitute now. Got it in blue as well. And there's the Euro Disney spirit jersey that I think Dean should get, and he's not having it. I also like this t-shirt, and that t-shirt, and that t-shirt, but not for me. I think they look good for men, in my opinion. What's this? A collection thimble. Didn't know Disney did thimbles. Yeah, I know what a thimble is, but I didn't know Disney made them. Dean did want this out of the Euro Disney collection, the windbreaker, perfect for Florida storms, but only huge sizes left everywhere that we've seen it. You could camp in an XL, I think, Dean. This blanket's really cute. We did get a blanket yesterday that we huddled under for the fireworks, but this Disneyland Paris Tink black and gold collection, but it is €50. Spenny. I'm a fan of this. I think this spirit jersey is really cool for Star Wars fans. Dean thinks Star Wars is okay, he's not a big fan. But that says, "May the Force be with us." I think the colour is epic, and it says Rebel Leader. And that's really good if you're a Star Wars fan. We've got a problem. Dean wants to watch the football. Come on.
Why didn't you tell me it was a big screen here with football?
Because I didn't know.
I could have watched Everton and get battered yesterday.
No. So mooching done. We are headed back under the Disneyland Hotel for the last time. We're gonna have one last mooch on Main Street. There's a couple of cool little things I want to show the vlogs on Main Street, and we're gonna catch the parade on our way out. Don't think we're doing any rides, are we?
Nah, don't.
Now, I was saying to Dean earlier, I'm gonna call it now, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I've got a sneaky suspicion that when this hotel is all done, it's gonna be rebranded to the Grand Parisian. Because there's a Grand Californian in California, there's a Grand Floridian in Florida. I just think Grand Parisian would sound nice, wouldn't it? I mean, it could be already confirmed that's what they're going to do. If that's the case, I didn't know that. I just think it looks kind of like the Grand Floridian in some ways. Just think it would suit that name. And if it turns out that I'm right, and I've called it first, I'll be very smug. Do you see the stained glass windows behind the sort of spinning fans? There's 4 of them representing the 4 different lands of the Disneyland park. So you've got the castle for Fantasyland, you've got the boat is for Adventureland, I'm going to assume. You've got the, what's the name? The riverboat for Frontierland. And then you've got like the Orbitron space planet spinning thing for Discoveryland. Would you want to have a last mooch through the Emporium? I saw online that the Main Street Transportation Company building in Paris has been modelled off the castle in California. Like the architecture of it. Personally, can't see it that much, but apparently. And then this dental school, I filmed this morning. But if you're here when they're not playing Christmas music at full volume, you'll be able to hear, coming from the dental school, like drilling and the dentist talking to the patients and stuff like that. Very cool. And then these names here are names of Imagineers that helped build Disneyland, basically. So it's like homage to them. We found ourselves with a bit of time to kill whilst we were waiting for the parade, so we decided to spend some time taking in the details of the arcades and down Main Street. These areas are so well themed and there's such little tiny details that if you don't take the time to look, you would miss. And I really recommend just slowing down, taking your time in these areas, looking at the little things that are on the walls and just taking it all in, because there has been so much thought put into Main Street and the arcades, and the detail is just phenomenal, and you will miss it if you just hurry down them to go and explore other areas. On the curb, waiting for the Christmas parade to come back down. People watching the top of Main Street. Is this the bottom of Main Street or the top of Main Street?
I say bottom.
Bottom of Main Street. Right by the exit, so that when the parade's over, we can make a quick dash. Yeah. So that's the plan. Enjoying this absolute tune for the last time.
It's not going on my Spotify.
Oh, it's going on mine. When you sit and people watch, you see how many people are dancing.
It's rough candy!
Bonjour à tous. Bonjour à tous les enfants.
Okay, to fill you in, we are now back. We managed to watch the Christmas parade. It said on the app that it was at 4:35, so we thought we'll watch that and we'll leave. Didn't start until 5, and we said we wanted to be out in the parks by 5:15 latest. It didn't start until 5. It did come straight down Main Street. We managed to catch it. I think we were back outside the train station waiting for a shuttle at 5:20ish, 5:25ish, and the amount of people that seem to just leave after the parade, it happened yesterday as well. After the tea time parade, everyone just leaves to go back to their hotels. Maybe if they've got food included, they go back to have their tea before heading back for the fireworks, something like that. But honestly, the amount of people that were leaving, the queue for our shuttle once again was ridiculous. So we had to pay for an Uber, got back to the hotel, picked up our luggage. Then we couldn't get an Uber back. They couldn't find a driver for us. Managed to get one eventually, and now we're back at the train station. We've got 20 minutes until our train to the airport. But whilst we were sat waiting for the parade, it went really cold, like so cold. And this freezing fog descended. Like look at this. Freezing cold fog. I feel sorry for anyone that wants to sit and watch that. I don't even know if the drone show will be on, because you can hardly see the sky anyway. So I feel really sorry for anyone who's doing Disneyland this evening, because it's bitingly cold. Well, we're waiting to board our flight, and AirFrance have put a serious downer on the wonderful trip that we just had. Cut a long story short, we booked a return trip with AirFrance. They were the cheapest on Skyscanner, so we booked our outgoing flight and our return flight in one booking, going Thursday morning to Sunday night, which is tonight. We realised it fitted better for us to fly the day before on the Wednesday. AirFrance had no flights. Dean got in touch with them on the website, live chat, and said, is it possible for me to cancel our outgoing flight? And they said, yes, not a problem, we'll get that sorted for you, we'll process your refund, no charge to change your flight. Done. So Dean then booked outgoing flights with EasyJet on the Wednesday for a similar price, no big deal, no fee for not flying on the Thursday and cancelling the flight, similar price to fly on the Wednesday, job done, ideal. We've rocked up at Paris airport this evening, tried to check in, and Air France would not let us check in because we missed our outgoing flight. We said no, we cancelled it. How could we have missed it when we're stood in front of you? Like, we just didn't fly with you, and we cancelled that flight. And they were like, well, you have to pay a fee because you didn't fly out with us. Basically, they said that when we booked our flights, we entered a contract to fly both ways with them.
I've never known anything like that.
No. So we said, well, you've already how can you charge us a fee for a flight that you refunded us for? Which then led Dean to check his bank, and they never ever refunded him. I think you changed it, was it about a month ago?
Yeah, 3 weeks, you know.
Three weeks ago, a month ago. So he would have had the refund. Now, Dean should have checked that and chased it up. But at the same time, if someone on the live chat, like a person, says to you, yes, I'll cancel that flight for you and I'll process your refund, and then life gets busy, you just don't think about it, you booked a different flight. The people at Air France desks were saying that we hadn't cancelled it and we just hadn't rocked up to our flight.
Even if we hadn't rocked up, what does it matter?
Yeah, but why do we need to pay a fine for a flight that we paid for and didn't get on? Like, you didn't lose any money, you didn't lose anything by us. Yeah, like if anything, you've saved money because you've not had to carry my heavy ass to Paris. So you didn't refund us for the flight that we didn't catch, and then you fined us for the flight that you didn't catch. So Air France is disgusting. This fine was €125 each. We were on Skyscanner to see if we could fly with a different company for cheaper. Absolutely disgusting, and it's left such a sour taste in our mouth after a lovely 4 days.
It's calm though, for me, for booking a 2-star hotel.
Yeah, we could have put that money towards a nicer hotel or Christmas. I can't wrap my... I was stood with the lady, I was like, can you please explain to me how you can find someone for a flight that they didn't get on but we still paid for because you didn't refund us. We're boarding now, but we'll continue this argument, I'm sure. Just so upsetting to be treated like that, just like a money bank. You're just shaking the pounds up them out. We just want to get home, don't we, Dean? And never book another flight with Air France again. I don't know why I'm smiling, to be honest, because we're just absolutely gutted. Imagine Ryanair. Imagine if you booked a flight with Ryanair. It's Tenerife. And you thought, oh, say if you got sick. Like, I was sick the day before our flight. say if you got sick and flights were cheap, so you just booked one the next day, and then on your return Ryanair said to you, oh sorry, you can't fly. Fine please, 125. That's more than the flight cost. They fined us more than it cost us, and they've still kept the cost of the flight. Okay, so I didn't film an outro to these vlogs when we got home. I was very tired from a long day and in no mood really to be vlogging after the way we were treated by AirFrance, and weeks on I still cannot wrap my head around the fact that we missed a flight that cost us £60, and they charged us €125 for that so that we could board our homeward flight. This is the only reason we paid the fine, is that we were simply not allowed on our homebound flight without paying it. They left us no option. So I can't fathom it. This like, Ryanair is a budget airline. They would never pull something like this, and they charge you for everything. I'm surprised they don't charge you for the oxygen that you breathe when you're on the flight with Ryanair, honestly. But this was, I understand that it's their policy or whatever, but you didn't lose anything by us not being on that flight. So why do we owe you anything? That's like us having our Disney tickets and feeling poorly with a headache or whatever and not being sick, whichever, and not going into the parks for one of our days. And then when we try and go in the next day, them stopping us at the barrier and saying, oh, sorry, because you didn't come in yesterday, you owe us a fine for that, double the price of what you paid. Like, it just doesn't, it doesn't add up. What was it to them that we weren't sat on it because they hadn't refunded us, ignoring the fact that we'd requested a refund and they had said that they would process that for us, and they didn't. And I know full well they'll have said that to Dean. I'm frustrated that he didn't follow up and check that we'd received that refund, but at the same time I know he would not have booked flights with EasyJet for the day prior without confirmation that that could get cancelled. He wouldn't have wasted that money because it was a £60 flight, so there's no way he would have just gone, oh, we'll just book for the day the day before, no worries, £60 is nothing. That is not Dean's attitude. He would not have done that. We wouldn't have wasted that money. We'd have just stuck to the original plan if Dean hadn't been told that it could get cancelled, no issue. So yes, and their customer service was just really poor. There was not a single apology for the confusion over the fact that we'd been told that we could cancel the flight. They could see from our faces how confused we were. They must have known there had been an error somewhere down the line or confusion, and there was no apology on their part whatsoever. They kept sending us from pillar to post. No one sort of knew what they were doing with us, really. I think they were just making things up as they went along. They had us waiting to speak to a specific advisor, and people kept getting called in front of us in the queue, like for their loyalty or the first class people, you know, people who'd paid for better tickets basically were just getting put in front of us. And time was ticking on. It was getting towards our actual flight time, and we were still unable to check in at this point. So that was really poor. And then they just, like I said, making things up as they went along. So I was like, okay, so how much is this fine for a missed flight? You'd think it would be, okay, missed flight, short haul, €50, €100, whatever you want to charge. No, she had to check. She was like, oh, let me just check. She tip-tapped away on her computer for ages In the meantime, I went on Skyscanner to see what our other options were, and conveniently the cost of the fine was the exact same price as the equivalent flight home but with EasyJet. So we would have given our money to EasyJet if it hadn't been for the fact we had a case to check. So obviously that would have been extra with EasyJet, and our case had already been paid for with AirFrance. They weren't fining us for that, shockingly. So it would have made it a little bit more expensive to go with EasyJet, but I'd have rather given them the money at that point. So yeah, just this, oh, I have to check, and it took it ages, tip-tapping away, to come back with the exact price of an equivalent flight. Find that very convenient, because they know that if they'd said €130 fine, I'd have gone, no thank you, I'll go with EasyJet. Especially if I hadn't had a case. If I hadn't had a case, I'd gone with EasyJet anyway, for the principle of it. But yeah, very convenient. Took them ages. Once they took our money, she didn't even like look at us. She was just tip-tapping away on a computer. She couldn't seem to figure out how to then allow us to check in. So eventually she just said to the girl, oh, just let them check in. After telling us there was no possible way and the computer wouldn't let her until we'd paid the fine. Then as soon as our card beeped, she didn't even look at us. She just kept tapping away. Just really rude. So AirFrance, I'm sorry, but you've lost 2 customers there, and you know it will be their loss in the future. As 2 people who have plans to go to Disneyland Paris as many times as possible, potentially even considering buying annual passes, we now have vowed that we will not fly with AirFrance, even if they're the cheaper option. We just won't do it because they've took enough money from us. So it will be their loss in the long run. And yeah, you guys have had your warning. If you book with AirFrance, the customer service isn't great. Don't dare miss a flight. Yeah. But enough negativity now about AirFrance. I've said what I'm going to say. I'm going to stick with EasyJet and Ryanair in the future. But I don't want the negativity of that flight home to overshadow this vlog or the trip. We still had a fantastic trip, which is why we're now considering Disneyland Paris annual passes. It's still in the talking stage. Obviously, it's not as easy as just buying the passes and going whenever you want. You have to get holidays from work, etc, etc. You have to fly there, not with AirFrance. So, you know, it's not as easy as that, but we are weighing it up because the price of an annual pass was almost the same as the 4-day tickets that we purchased for that trip. So, you know, if you're going to go more than once a year, you've already made your money back, basically. So we are considering it. We had a fantastic time celebrating Christmas in Disney. It was just so festive and magic, and yeah, it was wonderful. And then also we are now in 2023, and I just wanted to thank you all for all of the support that you gave me in 2022. I only started my channel, I think I started vlogging in May, and I think my first vlog didn't go up until July. So it hasn't even been a whole year, but you have all been so lovely. There's over 1,400 of you now, and that subscriber count ticks up every day, and I'm still in disbelief that anyone wants to watch the little things that me and my partner get up to when we go on holiday. It amazes me, but I'm so glad that you do enjoy watching it. And yeah, it's very scary to put yourself on YouTube. It is. I vlogged and then it took me 2 months to put the first one out there because it is very scary. You're opening yourself up for people to be judgmental and make assumptions of you. And so far, everyone has just been really, really lovely, and I do appreciate all of it. So thank you for all of your support. Here's to a new year full of adventures. I have no plans to stop vlogging our trips anytime soon, so please do come along with us. If you're new and this is the first series, then there are other little series on the channel. We did Disneyland California as a whole. We travelled around California, that's on the channel. And we're also currently in the middle of a Canada series, which is going to pick back up after this vlog, as this little series is now ended. So yes, I am going to leave you with a little montage of our 4 magical days in Disneyland Paris. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know in the comments which was your favourite vlog, what was your favourite moment. Mine, I think, has to go either to the drone show, which was something I'd never seen before, or to Dean with the biscuit tin Hollywood Tower Hotel hat. I think that's my favourite moment. I was crying editing that together. So yeah, let me know what your favourite moment was of the little series, which vlog was your favourite, and thanks again for watching and being here and all your support. Happy New Year, guys!
Let's just do what you want to. Please don't be polite, cause I like your attitude. Let's forget about a curfew, cause all that is stuck in my head is me and you. Both speed and my heart is racing, but I'm not sure I wanna pace it, cause it only does this with you. Our bodies meet, I can feel the tension. Move us into the next dimension. Let's just let our bodies be true. We make out for the thrill of it, mess around for the thrill of it. Don't stop now, never let this end. For the thrill of it, we can have with no regret. We make out for the thrill of it, mess around for the thrill of it. Don't stop now, never let this end. For the thrill of it, we can have with no regret. Let's live life without regrets. Girl, put your faith in me, even though we just met. Let's forget about a curfew, cause all that is stuck in my head